Hello everyone! In this tutorial, we are going to make a deck selector to choose which one of these birds we want to explode, but this logic can be used for anything you want, like an upgrade or anything else. So the first thing you want to do is you're going to go to the top left, Manage UI Control Groups. Here on the UI Control Group library, we are going to add a deck selector. And here I'm going to open this drop down and let's start setting up our parameters. So the name is going to be which bird to explode. Can be a grid or a list, it doesn't matter. The quantity is we don't want, since we only want to explode one bird. We don't want to reset because there's no random elements here. We don't need to pause, we don't need to collapse the controls, and we don't want to be able to cancel this selection. So let's just do this. And on the second tab, the option configuration, let's add our options. So I'm going to add 3 rows. I'm going to name it the red bird, the yellow bird, and the blue bird. We can select some icons here. So the red, the yellow, and the blue bird. We can also select the colors. Oops. And we can close this. So this is how it's going to look like. If we change it to grid instead of list, it's going to look like this. So I'm going to leave it as a grid. And now we need to add some logic to our player to open the deck selector and to explode the birds when the deck selector is complete. So let's go to our player node graph. Let's create one since we don't have one. I'm going to create a node graph, name it player graph. When entity is created, so when our player is started, we are going to say deck selector. We are finding invoke deck selector. And from target player, we can connect the source entity, deck selector index. We don't have a deck selector here because I forgot to save, so we can go back. We can click on our deck selector UI and we can save as a template on the bottom. And now if you go back, it should show here, correct? And the duration of our voting, I'm going to leave something low, like 10 seconds. So just so I can show what happens when we don't select something. So for the select result corresponding list, I'm going to assemble a list and I'm going to connect it to both the result corresponding list and the display corresponding list. And since we have 3 options, I'm going to add the 1, 2, and 3 options to this list. The minimum quantity I want to be 1 and the maximum to 1, so I don't want to be able to choose more than one bird to be destroyed for now. I don't want to be able to refresh it, so you can say cannot refresh 0 and 0. And for default return selection is what happens if you do not vote within this 10 seconds, or if it's closed by some reason. Let's say you use this node here, close deck selector. So if you use this, it's going to go to default return selection, or if you don't vote within the time limit. So what I want to do here is I'm going to leave just one option, and I want it to be a random integer. And I want the lower limit to be 1 and the upper limit to be 3. So it's going to select between 1 and 3. And this will be our result if we don't select anything. And now we need to do something when this is completed. So let's go to deck selector. Let's search for it. when deck selector is complete. So we only have one deck selector, so we don't need to check the deck selector index, but I'm going to do it just for the example. So on the index, we can save multiple branches, connect here. We can add an option and copy our index from the invoke deck selector and paste it here. And from the selection result list, it is a list because it could be more than one result that you selected. So here we say one, but it could be more than one if we maybe say two birds can be selected. So I'm going to select only one. And I'm going to say get corresponding value from list. And I'm going to get the 0. So the first value from the list is going to be 0. And I want to do a branch. And I'm going to connect this branch here. And here we can say 1, 2, and 3. And now we can get our birds and destroy them based on this 1, 2, and 3, which is one option we can do, or you could use a dictionary for this, but I'm just going to do it like this. So we can say query entity by ID. We can copy this and paste it 3 times. And we are going to search our red bird, our blue bird, and our yellow bird. And now I need to go back to their UI and double check. So the red is red, yellow, and then blue. So the red is the first, the yellow is the second, and blue is the third. And we can say destroy entity and connect it. We can copy and paste. And we can connect this in order here. So now I'm going to start the game and test our logic. But before, we need to add this logic we just created to our player. So we're going to go to our player, the last tab, and add node graph, add the player graph. And now we should be able to test it. So I'm going to go to test play, and we can see here our vote opens, and let's not vote to see if it chooses a random one. And we can see it exploded a random bird. And if we retry and select other bird, so let's select the red bird disappears. And this is it, but I'm going to show how you can do if you want to explode more than one bird. So we can go back here, and we can, let's say we need to select between 1 and 3 birds. So we can change here instead of 1 to 3. And here we can just delete, actually you can just disconnect this for now. And we can say list iteration loop. We are going to connect this here, and the iteration list, it has to be the select result list. And we can disconnect this get corresponding value from list here. We can just delete it, and we can connect this to the multiple branches, and we can connect this to the loop body. So it's going to loop through all our votes, and for each vote that we voted, it's going to find which bird is the corresponding number, and it's going to destroy it. So let's also change the name here. So instead of which bird to explode, we can say which birds to explode. And here we can also show the selected quantity. Since now we have a quantity, and we need to save it again. So click on the deck selector and save. And let's test it. So I'm going to select 2 birds, the red and the yellow. and they both are destroyed. So this is it. We have a working deck selector that you can expand to any logic you want. And thank you for watching. If you have any suggestions for other videos, feel free to comment and like and subscribe. Thank you.